Okay, well, welcome back to the channel, everyone, and this isn't going to be a full-on review of AEW Collision. This is just going to be me giving my thoughts on just one major segment. There were two women's matches on the card, but I'm going to be focusing on one particular one because I feel like this is a good one to talk about. And also, there were a lot more women on the show, according to online, saying there were 10 women featured on Collision this week. I will say that is a big improvement, because one of my major complaints, if you saw my video about a few of my issues with AEW, is that they did not focus very heavily on the women's division. But it sounds like now Tony Khan might start be focusing on the women's division. One of the things on AEW Collision is that Toni Storm will now find out on Dynamite if she will face either Saraya or Riho, I hope I said it correctly, at World's End for the AEW Women's Championship. I'm fully expecting Riho to score the win over Saraya. So what is the thing that I want to talk about in this particular video? Well, the thing I'm going to be talking about here is the aftermath of a match between Abandon. After she squashed a girl named Jasmine, Julia Hart, the TBS champion, TBS Women's Champion came out. She seems to be entering a feud with this girl. Skye Blue came down and looked like she was going to help Abandon take down Julia, until Skye Blue then decided to turn heel. Now, this is actually a good thing for Skye Blue, and when I think about this, I think this is something Skye Blue really would have benefited from, something she really needed. I think a character change is something I really believe Skye Blue really benefited from. I mean, don't get me wrong, her babyface character was fine, but I think a heel turn is necessary because A, she can get a new finisher, hopefully, and obviously she'll have a new presentational look, and pairing her with Julia just makes a lot of sense. Just pairing her with Julia Hart just makes a lot of sense, because Julia Hart sprayed mist into her eyes during the build-up of their story. So to see Skye Blue just now join Julia, I'm assuming she'll now become a member of the House of Black, because Julia is a member of the House of Black. But one other thing that came out of this was the return of Thunder Rosa. I am aware of who Thunder Rosa is. I think I've seen her wrestle a couple of times. She's fantastic from the matches I've seen. I think I remember finding a match where she wrestled Tenille. I found it on YouTube somewhere. It might have been Ring of Honor. I can't remember where. But I remember she fought Tenille Dashwood on one, so I found that on YouTube. But also, Thunder Rosa is a former AEW Women's Champion. I heard the stories of the feud she had with Britt Baker. And I'm just going to say this right now. Thunder Rosa's return was another thing that the AEW Women's Division needed. Thunder Rosa's return was the big shot in the arm, the big needle in the arm that the AEW Women's Division needed. Alongside with Saraya, Julia, Skye Blue, Thunder Rosa, Ruby Soho, Toni Storm. And hopefully maybe Athena may eventually come into AEW. There are a lot of top girls now in the AEW roster. Sheeta, Anna Jay. Hopefully they push her up a little bit more. I saw Anna's win over Red Velvet on Rampage. So, I have thought about it. I'm not going to be doing full-blown reviews of AEW. I figured I'll do, similar videos to what I've done with WWE, where I will pick a certain topic that I want to talk about. I'll pick, a certain topic and we can discuss about it. So, how does this benefit AEW? How does this help them in a way? Well, this helps because AEW's women's division, despite they had some good wrestlers like Saraya and Tony and Ruby, and even Chris Statlander, Sheeta, and all that, the bigger names were needed to come back, like the Thunder Rosas, the Britt Bakers, and even Jamie Hayter. Like, these women need, like AEW's women's division is really suffering, even despite having some really decent names, again, like Saraya, Sheeta, Tony, Ruby, etc. So, etc. But I think Thunder Rosa was someone that needed to come back. And I think this was a big positive. I think this is a big positive for AEW Collision. I think this is a big positive for Collision. And I'm very much looking forward to this. I think this is a scenario that really needed to happen. And I can't be any more happier. I'm just going to say right now, I can't be any more happier that AEW's women's division seems to now finally, maybe hopefully now, is going to start getting more time to shine. I'm hoping Saraya and Reiho's match gets a lot of time. I hope they give them a lot of time and give them a big story. Because Ruby told Saraya to go at to see if she can try and beat Riho on her own. I'm really hoping they can get some good storylines in with the women, especially now since Saraya and Ruby's feud is picking up, or their split is picking up. Hopefully we get that possibly on Dynamite, maybe where Saraya finally turns on Ruby, or so forth. I think we may get Ruby versus Saraya at World's End, if Tony is willing to book that match on the pay-per-view. I think that is a worthy match for the World's End pay-per-view. But if not, he might just put it on a Rampage or maybe even Collision. So I am hoping that the endgame of the Saraya-Ruby arc is on pay-per-view, because it deserves to be on pay-per-view, considering that the Outcasts falling apart has kind of been not a main focus. It's been there. We've seen it a couple of weeks. We've seen it for a couple of weeks, and then they're off for a couple of weeks, and then they're back on, and then it's back on, and all that stuff. So it's not like something we see every single show, but it has been one of the bigger stories for the women's division. And Julia becoming champion is a good story, and Skye Blue's character change to becoming a heel is a good story. So overall, I think out of everything that's been happening on with the women's division this week in particular, has been really strong, and especially with Ring of Honor. Though I didn't watch it, I did hear about the women's main event match. I'm really hoping Athena's match on Ring of Honor helps Tony Khan understand how important women's wrestling is. You can easily fill in at least 2 women's matches on Dynamite and Rampage, and they proved it with Collision. That they can get more than 1 women's match. So I am crossing my fingers that he does start to treat his women a bit more seriously and start giving them more serious storylines going forward. So those are my thoughts on everything that went on this week with the women's division. I think it's a real massive improvement. I'm kind of glad that Skye Blue turned heel. Nigel McGuinness teased that Skye may get a new name in Skye Black, because, she's a heel now, I guess. So they might be changing her name to Skye Black. And also, Thunder Rosa coming back was a real nice big thing for the women's division as well. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my thoughts on the current state of the AEW Women's Division. I think it's coming along quite well, and I'll see you all in the next video. Hit like and subscribe.